you said the internet, the coming of internet was very clear. And if you combine the same logic with, what is happening with Web3, a lot of people, tend to look at Web3 as the next thing. And it also intersects with what Remitly does, right? In payments and, cross-country, cross-border payments on remittances. And it is, sort of like the #1 use case you get pitched as, a Web3 use case. So combining those two things, do you see Web3 as important as the hype? How much do you see that there's a legit use case? And since you work with Remitly, you're probably one of the best person to ask this question. Can cross-border payments actually work with Web3?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question, and I will say up front, I don't think I have answers to that question, but I have opinions that I'm happy to share. I will say that my clarity and conviction around the importance of the internet in the middle 90s was much stronger than it is about any other technology before or since. And one of the things that I've noticed about the venture capital industry or the tech industry broadly is that there's always a desire to find the new thing. And so there tend to be waves of enthusiasm around technologies, some of which have proven to be deeply important and some of which have not. One other example, a few, maybe 5 or 7 years ago was drones. Everyone was sure that drones and UAVs were going to be a big deal, and huge wave of enthusiasm and investment. And I think we have yet to see, other than in a military context, that enthusiasm being merited in terms of commercial outcomes. So you develop a certain skepticism as an investor about the new thing, because I would say in some cases it's absolutely foundationally true, and the internet was and is that. Cloud infrastructure, the shift to the cloud absolutely is one of those things. Is Web3 one of those things? I frankly am skeptical. I have yet to see evidence that it matters in the way that its enthusiasts say that it does. But the future will tell us. I don't think I'm right or wrong about that. One thing that I will say based on my experience with Remitly is I had gotten a much stronger appreciation for the values and the reasoning behind regulatory frameworks around cross-border payments. And I think there are both national interests around fiat currencies and the ability to control your own destiny as an issuer of currency. And then there are all kinds of, I think, well-founded regulatory limits on cross-border transfers having to do with criminal activity, whether it's drugs or child trafficking or organized crime, you name it. So I actually think that both the government's interest in its own currency and the government cross-border interest in maintaining a regulated framework around how money moves across borders is well-founded and based on this common interest, based on the social good. So in many cases, what I see in the Web3 environment is it's less, certainly there's interesting technology at work around distributed permissionless activity. It feels to me more like almost a religious or political agenda than it does a technological agenda, which is there is a desire and a certain kind of segment of the society for freedom from government, right? So anarcho-libertarian mindset that we shouldn't have to comply by anybody's rules, and it should all be self-organizing and democratic, and we're going to go our own way. I actually think that is wrong, that leads to bad societal outcomes. So not only am I skeptical of the technological merits of Web3 as the new thing, as the foundational technology of the internet going forward, I'm also frankly skeptical of the rationale for why it needs to exist, which is, to me, the internet, despite its challenges around social media and other things, has brought lots of material benefits to the world in terms of communications and connectedness and efficiency of business and all kinds of things. I don't share the values of the Web3 community in removing the power of the state to control its own currency and to control negative behaviors, negative externalities of society, both within and across borders. So, we'll see how that all plays out. Many people I know disagree with me deeply about all of that, but based on my experience and my journey particularly with regulated money transmission across borders, I would be disappointed, frankly, if the vision of Web3 comes true, because I think it will lead to many more negative than positive outcomes.